We are starting at chapter 19, verse 7. A poor man is shunned by all his relatives. How much more do his friends avoid him? Though he pursues them with pleading, they are nowhere to be found. So again, when we look at human nature is to say, what can I get from this relationship? I tell people, don't go into marriage that way. Because at some point, you're not getting something from that other person. They need help. They aren't going to be there and causing you great joy, okay? Unless the joy you're receiving is because you love them and you want to see what's best for them. And so even then, when they are in, destitute or in need of help, you get joy in helping them. In such circumstances, then the marriage is strengthened and is strong because it's not dependent upon what you receive from them. You married them so that you can give to them good gifts. And here it's saying basically that friends and family are going to avoid the man when he doesn't have anything to give them because, again, they were seeking for their own gain. And then there's the sad line, though he pursues them with pleading, they are nowhere to be found. Oh, suddenly they aren't answering your calls. Suddenly they're not there to give you any recompense or to give you any support or help. This, again, is the opposite of the way that God teaches. This is the natural way that a sinful person acts. We go to verse 8. He who gets wisdom loves his own soul. He who cherishes understanding prospers. First of all, he who gets wisdom is knowledge of Christ and his salvation. So you love your soul because you're saved. You're going to be right with God. Secondly, because you're right with God and you're doing those things which are good, the system that God has set up, this ordered universe, you tend to prosper in it because you're doing what is right before the Lord, and that happens to, from a systematic perspective, or a systems perspective, that happens to tend to produce good results. So you will tend to prosper when you gain understanding and when you cherish it due to it leading to good behavior. Go to verse 9. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who pours out lies will perish. So this is basically the same as 5, where it says a false witness will not go unpunished, and he who pours out lies will not go free. This time, instead of going free, it's perish. Okay? So you're going to be caught in your lies and imprisoned, and in this case, you're going to be caught in your lies and you're going to die. I think Solomon is making his point here, right? Tell the truth. 10. It is not fitting for a fool to live in luxury. How much worse for a slave to rule over princes? As an English major, I had to read the book. Why is the name evading me now? But anyway, it was about a young girl who was trying to matchmake people. And at the end of the book, everyone is matched with someone appropriate to their stature, equally yoked. This is the idea that God has given different people different talents. Some he has given much, and from them much is expected. Some he has given little, and from them a different thing is expected. A fool who lives in luxury is going to abuse and lose the luxury. So it's not fitting. A fool needs to go through difficulties and trials and tests so that they can grow from being a fool into one wise. The law drives them to knowledge. The law drives them from sin to their Savior so that they can be saved and made not a fool. The same goes with princes. it is a difficult thing, for instance, to run a large corporation. And if you are a person who hasn't dealt with money, who's grown up in a place where you don't have much, it would be foolish to put you in charge of a large corporation. You need experience. You need time and training. And so here it says a slave to rule over princes. The princes are supposed to have experience. They grew up under a king. This is what they've been trained for. And if you put a slave over the princes, it's not that the prince is worth more than the slave or the slave is worth less. It is that they have different talents that have been developed over time, different skill sets. And so you want to have the ones with the right skill sets doing the tasks, their vocation that was set for them. Verse 11, a man's wisdom gives him patience. It is his glory to overlook an offense. I'm trying to get my face out of the sunshine here. Wisdom, again, this is understanding God and what he has taught and seeing how Christ has acted. If we see the patience and compassion of God, and then we look to others and know that they are loved and beloved, we realize how foolish we have been. We're patient. We know that other people are going to act like we did, and that they received the benefit of a Lord who is patient, who allowed them more than one opportunity. And so by gaining wisdom, by gaining that perspective, we also gain patience. And it says it's to his glory to overlook an offense. Well, there you go. People notice when you forgive. It's not why you forgive, but they do. And they think better of you. You have shown patience. You have forgiven. Therefore, you're a good person. Verse 12. A king's rage is like the roar of a lion, but his favor is like a dew on the grass. You want to get in good with the king. We had some previous verses talking about how you curry the favor of kings and you give gifts to kings. When a king gets mad, often destruction occurs. The roar of a lion, everyone hears it. Everyone knows. Everyone hides and scuttles out of the way. Because when the king lands his hand down, whether you're at fault or not, you're going to get damaged. So you try to keep the king in good odor. You try to keep him happy. But then it says his favor is like the dew, because he's generous and he gives, right? In various courts, everyone was seeking to be in favor with the king because they knew that their personal and their household's success depended on it. They do that in Washington, D.C. too, right? People kiss up to the presidents and the senators and the various people. They know that the largesse of the nation can rain down upon their businesses, or regulations can suddenly disappear, or various things. They can do very well if they have the favor of those in power. We'll stop here.